हेलो एवरीवन, गुड आफ्टरनून। कैसे हो आप लोग? कैसी चल रही है प्रिपरेशन आपकी? एंड दिस इज़ 19th डे ऑफ NMAT SNAP practice sessions, and these sessions were happening 3 p.m. every day, but आज हम इसे करेंगे at 2 p.m. ऑल राइट। एंड अभी तक हमने जो टॉपिक्स किए हैं, कौन से टॉपिक्स किए हैं? नंबर्स किया है, नंबर्स के बाद हमने PNC किया है, फिर उसके बाद हमने लॉगरिदम किया है ना। और आज एक और इम्पॉर्टेंट टॉपिक से क्वेश्चंस प्रैक्टिस करने वाले हैं, जो कि है परसेंटेजेस, राइट। नाउ परसेंटेजेस में जो इम्पॉर्टेंट कॉन्सेप्ट है वो क्या है? सबसे पहले कि परसेंटेज टू फ्रैक्शन कन्वर्जन, जैसे कि अगर 10% है तो 1/10 हो गया, 20% इज़ 1/5, 25% इज़ 1/4, है ना। देन 14.28% is 1/7, 16.66% is 1/6. So you should be aware of these values, right? And if you are good about these values, then you will be able to solve percentage questions very easily, okay, whenever conversion is required. Apart from that, how do we compare two quantities? Like x is what percent of y, so x upon y into 100. X is what percent more or less than y, so take the difference between x and y upon y into 100, right? So x minus y upon y into 100 if x is greater than y, y minus x upon y into 100 if x is less than y. And then comes successive percentage concept and multiplication factor concept. Some good uses of successive percentage, like if a into b is equal to c, and there are some changes, like in change in a is a%, change in b is b%, change in c is c%. तो हम क्या कह सकते हैं कि जो c% होगा वो सक्सेसिव होगा a और b का, है ना। सो दीज आर द कॉन्सेप्ट दैट यू शुड बी अवेयर ऑफ बिफोर सॉल्विंग परसेंटेजेस कॉन्सेप्ट। गुड आफ्टरनून पेरिस, भवाना, प्रियम, निकिता, राइट। सो let's move on to our first question, and let's start our practice. This is the first question. In a public library there are 1,10,000 books, 40% of which are science books. It was decided to add 20,000 new books to the library. How many of the new books should be science books in order to bring the percentage of science book in the library up to 45%? Let's try this one. And just to inform you guys that NMAT SNAP batch live classes in paid batch are going to start this week itself, okay. So if you want to enroll in NMAT SNAP, now is the right time to do so. Clear answer, option D. So in a library there are 1,10,000 books, 40% of which are science books. So science books, okay, previously it will be 40% of 1,10,000, which will be equal to 44,000, right? And what is the new total number of books? New total books will be equal to 1,10,000 plus 20,000, which will be equal to 1,30,000, right? So, and in that case, what we can say, new number of science books. So now the value of science books will be equal to 45% of 1,30,000, right? Which will be equal to 40% is 52,000, 5% is 6,500. So 58,500. So what's the difference? The difference between these values is equal to 58,500 minus 44,000, which is equal to 14,500, right? So out of 20,000 books, right? Out of 20,000 books, number of science books should be 14,500. All right. So option D is correct, which Paris got correct, Priyam got correct, and Bhavana got correct, right? Now, next question is this one. Try this one. A batsman scored 110 runs, which includes 3 boundaries. Boundaries means fours. This boundary means fours, 4 runs, है ना? And 8 sixes. What percent of his total score did he make by running between the wickets? Jyoti, as I said, we are starting our new batch on NMAT SNAP this week only. Okay, so surely it's enough. That's why we are starting, right? So हाँ, अगर आज start कर रहे हो तो हो जाएगा. Don't worry about it. Option B आ रहा है. A batsman scored 110 runs, which included 3 fours and 8 sixes. 3 fours and 8 sixes. This is equal to 60 runs. 60 runs by sixes and fours. So by running, what was the runs scored? 110 minus 60, that is equal to 50. So the required percentage value will be equal to 50 upon 110 into 100. So 1100 cancel out. What is 5 by 11? 5 by 11 is 9 into 5, which is 45. 45.45%, or 45 5 by 11%. So answer is option B. है ना, किसी का C आया था इनिशियली आई थिंक. पेरिस, भवाना, सिद्धांत, पायस, प्रियम, ध्रुव, ऑल ऑफ यू गॉट दिस करेक्ट. सो देखो, प्रॉब्लम ये नहीं है कि क्वेश्चंस इजी हैं, प्रॉब्लम ये है कि इजी क्वेश्चंस में ही हम ज़्यादा मिस्टेक करते हैं, है ना, थोड़ी जल्दीबाजी में. तो ऐसा नहीं करना है. मेक श्योर कि इफ़ क्वेश्चंस आर इजी, इफ़ अगर आप सॉल्व कर सकते हो उन क्वेश्चंस को, तो मिस्टेक्स 0 होने चाहिए, है ना. दैट्स वाई ये भी इम्पॉर्टेंट है कि अगर आप कैट के प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हो तो जरूरी नहीं है कि एनमैट में अच्छे स्कोर आ जाए. कई बार ऐसा होता है, मैंने खुद फेस किया ये प्रॉब्लम. कई बार ऐसा होता है कि क्वेश्चन के लेवल इजी हैं तो आप उसको तोड़ मरोड़ के कुछ और बना देते हो, तो वो नहीं होना चाहिए. तो हर लेवल के क्वेश्चंस की प्रैक्टिस रेगुलर बेसिस पे होनी चाहिए. ऑल राइट, लेट्स ट्राई दिस वन. Bias in both the exams. We get this level of questions, SNAP and NMAT both. ये दोनों को मिला के चल रहा है ना. मेरी शर्ट तो है नहीं, टी शर्ट है, और टी शर्ट का कलर ब्लैक है. और किसी को ग्रीन दिख रहा है क्या? सम्राट को ग्रीन दिख रहा है. ऑप्शन ए भी आ रहे हैं, ऑप्शन डी भी आ रहे हैं. So it says a student secures 90%, 60% and 54% marks in test papers with 100, 150 and 200 respectively as maximum marks. The percentage of his aggregate is. So one way to find the aggregate percentage is equal to taking 90% of 100 plus 60% of 150 plus 54% of 200 divided by 100 plus 150 plus 200. But ये थोड़ा सा कैलकुलेटिव हो सकता है ना. So instead what we can do, we can, instead of actual value, actual weight, even if you use their ratio, so that will also work. The ratio of 100 is to 150 is to 200 is equal to 100, 15 to 2, 15 to 3, 15 to 4, right? So using that, you can use the second method. It will be 90 into 2 plus 60 into 3 plus 54 into 4 divided by 2 plus 3 plus 4. Okay. So this will be equal to 180, 180, 360 plus 216. So 476, right? 180, 180, 360 plus 200 plus 16. So 576. 576 divided by 9, which gives us 6 times 4 times. So it will be 64%, right? So our answer is option A. Now, if this was 100, 150 and 200, then it was easier to calculate. But think about if the values were like something like 70, 105 and 140, something like that, where you are getting values in fractions, okay, or not easy to calculate, then what will you do in that situation, right? This is weighted average method. Yes, Paris. So whenever you are getting situation like this, whenever weights are given, so instead of actual weights, you can use their ratio as well, है ना? Pius is asking, sir, actually at that time I was asking whether the questions we have been practicing in these sessions come in the exams, or do they opt for difficult questions that come in CAT? No, Pius, they don't opt for the same difficulty level as CAT. Okay, the level of questions are lump sum what we are practicing for so many days. Okay, some of these are previous year questions as well. So the difficulty level is almost the same that we are discussing. Why would we discuss easier questions, right? This should be very easy question. It says if two numbers are respectively 20% and 50% of a third number, what is the percentage of the first number to the second, right? So first number is what percent of the second number. So we can take the first number, this number as the third number as 100, then one of the number will be 20 and other will be 50. So required percentage will be equal to 20 is what percent of 50. So that will be equal to 15 to 2, which is equal to 40%. And that's our answer, which is option D. Okay, Paris, Payas, Siddhant, Bhavana, Priyam, all of these got this correct. Chalo, let's try a better question than the previous ones. These type of questions are very popular. Votes, election, candidates, eligible candidates, ineligible candidates. Paris, no, there is no calculator. Right. So this question, it says in an examination 5% of the applicants were found ineligible, meaning we can say 95% are eligible, right? 95% are eligible. 85% of the eligible candidate belong to the general category. Means 85% eligible candidate belong to the general category, means 15% belongs to other categories, right? If 4275 eligible candidates belong to other categories, then how many candidates apply for the examination? So let total candidates who applied for the examination is equal to X, right? So out of these 95% are eligible, right? So 95 upon 100 into X are eligible, and 15% of these will belong to other categories. So 15% of this will be equal to 4275. This is what's given. Now if you check the calculation, 15 into 2, 30, 12 left, 127, 8 times 120, 7 left, 75, so 5 times. And 95 into 3 is 285. So from there we can say x will be equal to 30000, which is 30,000. So total 30,000 candidates have applied for the examination. Now, as you can see in these type of questions, don't try to find the values one by one. Okay, try to do all of them at once. Then it's much easier for you to do the calculation. It will take lesser time, and you will be more efficient as well. All right. So try to do all these steps in one. So Paris, Siddhant, Bhavana, Payas, Priyam, all of your answers are good. Then let's try another question. क्या आ रहा है? सी आ रहा है. ओके, चेक करते हैं. Deepa decided to donate 8% of her salary to orphanage. On the day of donation, she changed her mind and donated 2240, which was 80% of what she had decided earlier. How much is Deepa's salary? So what we can say? Let Deepa's salary is equal to X. So she was supposed to donate 8% of X. She was supposed to donate 8% of X, but she donated only 80%. So 80 upon 100 of this should be equal to 2240. So now if we solve this, what will happen? 80 this कितना हो जाएगा? 2 times 16, 6, 4, so 8 times, 28 times, right? Then 8 into 4 is 2, 7 into 4 is 28, and then this will be 50 times. So 7 into 5, 35. We can say X will be equal to 35,000. Right? That's your answer, which is option C. ठीक है. Paris, Payas, Aditya, Siddhant, Bhavana, Anuj, correct answers. Okay guys, if you have any doubts, then let me know. All right. So as you can see, in only 10,000 you can get full course for NMAT and SNAP. All right. And this course is starting this week only. All right, there will be live classes 5 days a week, 20 full mocks, of which 10 will be NMAT mocks, which is also computer adaptive mock, and 10 will be SNAP mocks. 4,000 plus practice questions. That's lots of questions. Then you are getting 24/7 doubt solving, which is something unique you don't get anywhere, and mentorship session by toppers as well as faculties. Okay. So you can see top 2 colleges given here, NMIMS Mumbai and SIBM Pune. And these are not only the top famous colleges for these 2 exams. There are much more exams that you can, more colleges that you can target. All right. If you have any question, you can go to iQuanta.in and you will find our support number. You can contact on those numbers as well. Okay. चलो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन देखते हैं. When the price of a radio was reduced by 20%, its sale increased by 80%. What was the net effect on the revenue? So one thing that you should understand in this case, that if you ever see A into B is equal to C, okay, there are some you can say values where A into B is equal to C. The change in A is A%, the change in B is B%, and the change in C is C%, then we can say that C will be successive of A and B, means A plus B plus AB upon 100. Now that we can apply in this question, and what we can say, that the price into sale quantity, right? This will be equal to our total revenue. So what we can say, the change in price is given. It's reduced by 20% and the sale increased by 80%. And if the change in revenue is X%, X should be successive of these two. What we can say, that X will be equal to 80 minus 20 minus 80 into 20 upon 100. This is the direct method that you can use. And what are we getting? This is 16. 36 of 44%. You can solve these type of questions orally if you understand this method. Now sometimes in these type of situations there is no change in revenue. This is increased or decreased, and this has been asked. In that case you can put this value x as 0, है ना? Paris, yes, that you can do 100 and 100, but this is much preferred method, because in these type of methods you don't have to do much calculation or no assumption. This is a direct method. So अच्छा 44% डिक्रीज भी है क्या? So it will be option A, which is 44% increase, right? Correct. Yes, Paris. Thank you. Okay, guys, is that clear to everyone? बताओ, is this method clear to everyone? If you ever, you can use this like length into breadth is equal to area. Then you can get this as speed into time is equal to distance. In all of these situations, you can use this. Now let's try the next one. If the price of sugar is increased by 7%, then by how much percent should a housewife reduce her consumption of sugar to have no extra expenditure? A, our answer. The price of sugar is increased by 7%. Then by how much percent should a housewife reduce her consumption of sugar to have no extra expenditure? By how much percent? So once again, what we can say that price into quantity is equal to expenditure, right? Expenditure. So the change in price is 7%. The change in quantity, let's say it's X%, and the change in expenditure is 0%. So what we can say, successive of these two should be 0. So we can say 0 will be equal to 7. It's increased, right? So this will be decreased. 7 minus X minus 7X upon 100. So from there, we are getting this will be 107X upon 100 is equal to 7, right? 107X upon 100 is equal to 7X. So from there, we can say X will be equal to 700 upon 107. Now in case of percentage, we need to convert this into percentage, right? This is percentage value. So 7 upon 107%, or we can say required percentage is equal to 7 upon 107%. ठीक है, देखो 100x 7x 107 and this will be 700 upon 107. Now you can also use this in other method. Okay, you can also use multiplication factor method. What is multiplication factor method? In case of price into quantity is equal to expenditure, right? So if the change is 7%, 7% increase, right? If change is 7% increase, then we can say that यहाँ पे सब ठीक है ना, कोई दिक्कत तो नहीं है. 7 minus x, this was decrease, right? 7 minus x minus 7x by 100. I think everything is good. Yes, x is 700 upon 107. ठीक है. सो मल्टीप्लीकेशन फैक्टर की अगर हम बात करें तो यहाँ पे 7% चेंज है. सो दिस विल बिकम 107 upon 100 and there is no change here. So multiplication factor of expenditure will be 1 by 1. So in that case the quantity multiplication factor must be 100 by 107. And if the multiplication factor is 100 by 107, then the percentage change will be 7 upon 107%. ठीक है. So that's why 107%. So that's why our answer is option A. ठीक है. All right. So ये भी यूज कर सकते हैं अगर इन दोनों में से कोई ये वाला या ये वाला मिसिंग है. यू कैन यूज मल्टीप्लिकेशन फैक्टर. एंड इन फैक्ट if there are multiple variables like a into b into c into d is equal to e, then you can use the multiplication factor method here as well. Multiplication factor 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 should be overall multiplication factor. That we can use as well here. Chalo, let's go to the next one. क्या रहा आंसर? ऑप्शन सी 12,000. चलो देखते हैं. A salesman's terms were changed from a flat commission of 5% on all his sales to a fixed salary of rupees 1,000 plus 2.5% commission on all sales exceeding 4,000 rupees. So if you are selling anything more than 4,000, then you are going to get 2.5% commission on that value plus 1,000 basic. If his remuneration as per the new scheme was 600 more than by the first scheme, what were his sales worth? So what we can say, that let total sales is equal to x. If total sales is equal to x, what will be his new salary? So 1,000 rupees, that is fixed, plus anything excess of 4,000. What will be excess of 4,000? X minus 4,000, and 2.5% commission on this excess amount minus what was the previous salary. So it was 5% of the total. So 5% of x, and the difference is 600, right? This is the difference that we are talking about. Previously, he was getting a flat 5%. Now he is getting flat 2.45% on the excess of 4,000, which is x minus 4,000 plus 1,000 rupees extra. So this will be equal to 1,000 plus, now 2.5% of x, 5% of x, and we can say this will be minus 2.5% of x minus 100 is equal to 600. So from there, if I take this variable on right hand side, this will be equal to 2.5% of x will be equal to 900 minus 600, which is equal to 300. So x will be equal to 300 into 100 upon 2.5. So remove the decimal, one more 0, 25 into 40. We are getting x is equal to 12,000. ठीक है, x is equal to 12,000. So that's the answer. So good work by Siddhant, Aditya, Paris, Bhavana. That is absolutely correct answer. ठीक है. चलो, let's go to the next one. Try this one. इसका भी सी आ रहा है. An inspector rejects 0.08% per meter. 0.08% per meter means 8 meters out of 10,000 meters. Out of 10,000 meters, he is rejecting 8 meters. So it says how many meters will he examine to reject 2 meters. So I want to make this 2. So I will divide this by 4. So divide 10,000 by 4. You are getting 2,500. Or you can also use this unitary method, that for 1 meter 0.08%, and what will be the quantity for 2. So 2 divided by 0.08%. So this will become into 100, and remove this, you get 2,500 again. So in both the situations you can solve it. The answer is same, which is option C. Chalo, let's move on to this one. बताओ क्या रहा है इसका आंसर फटाफट। ए इन्वेस्टेड 10% more than B and B invested 10% less than C. And what's the best approach to solve these type of questions? If the total sum of their investment is 14,450, then how much did C get? So what we can do, A invested 10% more than B. Can I say A by B will be equal to 11 by 10, right? B invested 10% less than C, means B upon C sorry so B upon C will be 9 by 10. If the total sum of their investment is 14,450, then how much did C get? So see, let's try to merge this ratio. This is 11:10 and B is to C is equal to 9:10. So how do you merge this? A is to B is to C will be equal to 10 into 9, which is 99, 10 into 9, which is 90, and 10 into 10, which is equal to 100. So this is the ratio of A, B and C, right? This is the ratio of A, B and C. So what we can say, what will be the value of C? C will be equal to 100 upon, this is 190 and 289 into 14450, है ना, 14450. Now 289 into 5, what will be 289 into 5? So देखो 11 5 times exactly, ये 5 times आ गया, तो ये आ गया कितना 5000. The share of C will be exactly 5000, which is option A. Now if you try to solve this question using values, then there will be some confusion, but if you start with C, then it will be easier. That taking value of C as 100, B will become 90, A will become 99, then you can find the value of C here. Okay, similar question. Once again, we will try to find the ratio, and from there we can merge these ratios. So A receives 20% more than C. So 120 is to 100 or 6 is to 5. C receives 25% less than B. So we can say that B is to C or C is to B. If B is 100, then C will be 75, which is equal to 3 is to 4. Now once again, if you try to find the ratio A is to B is to C, then you will have to write A is to B, A is to C is to B ले लेते हैं ना, because C is common in both of them. So A is to C is equal to 6 is to 5. C is to B is equal to 3 is to 4. So A is to C is to B will be equal to 18 is to 15 is to 20, right? 18 is to 15 is to 20. It says what is the A share in the amount. So what we can say, the A share will be 18 out of, this is nothing but 53, right? 35 plus 18, 53 into 4, 5, 5, 8. Now how do you divide this? 53. So 3 into what value we should take so that this is 8. Is that number divisible by 53? तो चलो चेक करते हैं 53 100 में ये कितना कम है. आई गेस 7 into what 3 into what gives us 8. ये भी चेक कर सकते हैं ना 6 times, बट 6 times तो होगा नहीं, 66 हो सकता है मे बी. लेट्स चेक इट. 53 into 7 8 times, 8 times लेंगे, 9 times तो लेंगे नहीं. 8 times हो जाएगा कितना 424, बचा कितना 31 318 which is 6 times. So 86 into 18. Now 18 into 6 is 108, carry is 10. 18 into 8 is 144 plus 10, 154. So 1548 which is option A. Right. So अगर ज़्यादा क्लू ना हो डिवाइड करने का तो दिस इज़ हाउ यू कैन गेट द हेल्प दैट दिस वैल्यू विल बी ग्रेटर देन 80 टाइम्स. यूनिट डिजिट इज 6, so 86. सो बहुत ज़्यादा इसमें सोचने की ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ती है. ऑल राइट, लेट्स ट्राई वन क्वेश्चन बेस्ड ऑन इलेक्शंस. Once again, try to solve this question in one line. Okay, in that way calculation will be easier. We have tried multiple these type of questions today, and we solve them in one line, right? So your solution should also be one liner. So in this question, looks like some difficult calculation because I am getting answer option A, option B, option C. Which one is correct? Everyone check your calculation. Right? In an election between the two candidates, 75% of the voters cast their votes. So out of total, only 75% of them cast their votes, out of which 2% of the votes were declared invalid, means the valid votes, 98% valid votes. A candidate get 9261 votes, which were 75% of the total valid votes. These are the total valid votes, 75% of the total, right? And a candidate, it says, a candidate got 9261 votes, which were 75% of the total votes. So what will be the valid votes? So 98% of this, 98% of 75% of total will be valid votes, and a candidate got 9261, which were 75% of the total valid votes. So 75% of this is equal to 9261. This is what we are trying to find, right? So 3 by 4 into 98 by 100 into 3 by 4 into t is equal to 9261, right? Looks like this number is divisible by 9, so let's cancel out this by 9. 1 times 0, then 26, so 2 times 1881, so 9 times 1029. Now 1029, is that number divisible by 7 or maybe 49? Yes, it's divisible by 49. 49 into 2, 98. Remainder is 4, so 121 times. This is 2 times. So we are getting total is equal to 21 into 8, which is 168. So 16800. Right? So answer is option B, guys, not option C or A. Correct answer is option B. Okay, Joel, is that clear? As I said before that these type of questions are not difficult to solve, but make sure that you are solving correctly 100% of them. All right, let's try this one now. Yes, Paris, solving in one line definitely helps. You can avoid lots of calculation there. Again, I am getting different answers, 9 and 7. Joel, check your answer. A spider climbed 62 1 by 2%. Now, as I said, you should know some fraction to percentage conversion as well as percentage to fraction conversion. So this value is nothing but 5 by 8. 1 by 8 is 12.5%. So 62.5% is 5 by 8, or 6.25% is 1 by 16. So 10 by 16 will be 62.5%, which is nothing but 5 by 8. In 1 hour, and in the next hour it covers 12.5% of the remaining height. Again, 12.5% as we discussed is 1 by 8. If the height of the pole is 192 meter, then the distance climbed in second hour is. So in the first hour it covered 5 by 8. 1 minus 5 by 8 will be equal to 3 by 8. So for after 1 hour, 3 by 8 distance is left. So 1 by 8 of 3 by 8 of 192 is equal to 8 into 8, 64, 3 times. It will be 9 meter, which is option D. So if you know some percentage to fraction conversion, fraction to percentage conversion, it really helps. Like one of these values are 1/6, which is equal to 16.66%, or this is also 16.2/3% in fractions. 1/7 is equal to 14.28%, or 14.2/7%. Then 1/9 is equal to 11/1/11%, or 11.11%, and their multiples are also important. 1/11 is 9 1/9%, or 9.09%, and their multiples as well. So all of these are important fractions that you should know. Even if you know till 11, till 1/11, it's really helpful. Although 1/12, which is 8.33%, 1/13, which is 7.7%, 1/14, 7.14%, 1/15, 6.66% are also very useful. Now let's try this question. A number is increased by 10% and then reduced by 10%. After these operations, the number, what will happen to that number if it is increased by 10% and then reduced by 10%? What will happen to that number? कितना आ रहा है? B आ रहा है. ये तो रटा रटाया होना चाहिए, है ना? There is a number x which is increased by 10%, then we get y. Now this number is reduced by 10%, so we get z. So from x to z, if the change is change is r%, what we can say, r will be successive of these two. R will be 10 minus 10 minus 10 into 10 upon 100. So that you can use, and you get minus 1%, means there is a decrease of 1%. Or you can also take the value, like if instead of x I am taking 100, it will become 90, it will become 110, right? After increasing 10%, it will become, it will become 110, and then if you reduce it by 10%, 10% of 110 is nothing but 11, so this will remain 99. So in that case, the change from 100 to 99 is 1%. So answer is decreases by 1%. That's our answer. So you can use successive percentage, you can use assumption method. Both of these are good. All right. Okay. So with that, guys, we are done with our session today. I hope you enjoyed the session, and most important part, that you did not get any wrong answers. If you were able to solve it, then you got all correct, right? That is the most important part of participating in these sessions. So questions could be easy, but you should know that you should not do any kind of mistakes even in these easy questions. All right. So tomorrow again at 2 p.m. we are going to have this session. We are going to practice few more questions. All right. So thank you for joining us today. Bye bye. Yes, Paris revision तो हो जाता है अच्छा.